Yo, what is up guys, my name is Noah, welcome back to All-Star Tower Defense X! Update 1 is officially out, and today's topic of discussion is the new skill tree. You're not necessarily new, but a lot of new things were added this update. A lot of quality of life changes that kind of change up a lot of what I was saying before this update. And also thank you guys for the support on some of the more recent videos, like our last skill tree video. It's not going to be more of an explanation, but just talking about some of the changes. But guys, before we start, like I always say, I'm trying to become the best Roblox anime YouTuber out there. So if you want to join the journey, a like and subscribe would be much appreciated. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoy the video. Alright guys, so like I was saying, skill trees have changed quite a bit in update 1. And one of the main things I was talking about in my first video on skill trees was the fact that the skill orb 1s, right here, the skill orb 1 peers were almost impossible to get, and you would have way more skill orb 2 peers than you would actually have skill orb 1 peers. And this was because skill orb 1 peers were only from hard mode challenges, not expert challenges. So you basically got to choose either maxing out your skill tree or getting the ghost 3s, which at the time before the update, ghost 3s were very hard to get. They have changed it a little bit, which will be for the Ascensions video later whenever I publish that. But back then, it was literally either a 30% chance for ghost 3s or you try to get your skill orb 1 peers for your skill tree because you could not get them. As you can see, look at my skill orb 2 greens and look at my skill orb 2 peers. I have so many of these, and since the updates, I have gotten more skill orb 1 peers, but before it was like literally I only got them from the daily challenge because that was the only place you get them from. But now if we go into challenges and look right here, as you can see, obviously you have your innovation island, which is the regular one. This will just, you know, be your whatever skill orbs you want, either different colors depending on the mode you pick. But now if I go over to, like, you know, a regular challenge, hard mode does drop skill orb 1 peers, but expert also drops it and skill orb 2 peers. Alright, this is pretty big for the skill trees because, like I said before, originally expert would not have this. This would not be here, so you had to choose this and go for the ghost 2s and ghost 1s, or this for the ghost 3s, which before were 30%, but now they're 40%, so a little bit easier. It's a very, very, very nice buff. Huge quality of life. One of the things I was complaining about in the last video, and I think a lot of people were too. I don't know if my video brought light to it, but if it did, well, I'm glad it could. Alright, so that's all I wanted to talk about for the skill orb 1s and 2s. Those obviously make it a lot easier to max out because you now don't have an abundance of 2s. You have 2s and 1s, which I don't know why they had it originally, the 2s being way easier to get than the 1s, considering people were only grinding expert in the release of the game to get your ghost 3s to evolve and ascend your units. So glad they changed that. But now we also have something else for the skill trees, okay? If you talk over here to the trial shop right here and go to the trial shop, there's something called Roca fruits and Doma fruits. Now, if you're reading them right now, the Doma fruit is a rare fruit that resets a unit's special nodes, allowing you to reselect them. So first off, if you had a damage skill tree, or if you had a range skill tree on Mihawk or whatnot, and you did not pick Overlord for some reason, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you can buy this and reset them and switch them back to what you wanted to do, which is obviously going to be Overlord for range, which is one of the best nodes in the game. And also the Roca fruit, which don't know if that's derived from Your Bizarre Adventure, you know, the Roca fruit. If you guys know, you know. But this is a rare fruit that resets a unit's hidden potential, allowing you to reselect its past. However, it will not require you to re-unlock any duplicate unit nodes. So this is basically saying that you can reset the skill tree. That's really what it's saying. You can reset your skill trees now. A big problem for the release of the game, people were asking all over, like, oh no, how am I going to reset my skill tree? I picked the wrong one, or I picked damage in every single one because I thought it was going to be progressive or whatnot. But now it doesn't matter. You can reset them just fine. If you go into here, you already have one from using the codes. If I use a Roca fruit, I can select any unit. If I select my Okioria, he will lose his skill tree. You'll not lose your nodes, but you'll probably lose your skill orbs, I'm pretty sure, because it didn't talk about any of that. All it said was it will not require you to re-unlock any duplicate unit nodes. So those are the first 2, or I guess 3 main things that was fixed, which is really good for the skill trees. Obviously, being able to actually max it out by getting skill orb 1s balanced with skill orb 2s. And being able to reset them and reset the nodes is very nice as well. But there's still one thing, alright? There's still one small little thing that I think needs to be fixed still, or at least reconsidered, okay? Now, if I go into the skill tree, as we all know, to complete a skill tree, you're going to need 3 duplicates. Look over here. I somehow managed to pull 3 Okioras and 1 10x, so I was able to max out his skill tree almost. Well, I'm missing one right here. But you need 4 total of a unit to max out the skill tree, 3 duplicates, and 1 main. Now, why is the problem, you might ask? Well, I think it might be pretty self-explanatory. Let's say we have a unit like Astd or Kokushibu. You're telling me I'm going to have to go to up to 40 strategist Astd trials to get to all of her to max out her skill tree, or for Kokushibu, I'm going to have to literally get 4 of him to max out a skill tree. And don't get me wrong, they can still be very good without a skill tree, but at the end of the day, these skill trees are very good. Like the critical one, 10% chance for attacks to deal 2x damage, and that can stack up to being 20%. I mean, that's literally insane. And if I have to go over here and get to multiple of these unbound units, these secret units, these hard to get units, also like Aqua, for example, I don't even have 1 Aqua. Heck, I don't even have 1 Asdef, and I gotta get 4 of them to max out the skill tree. I think that's the only problem left with the skill trees, okay? I've seen people talk about this already a little bit. You know, I do not think it is necessary to have 4 of 1 unit to max out the skill tree. I mean, if you guys remembered Ainz from Anime Adventures or Aizen from Anime Vanguards, right? That was like 1 unit. You had to get 4 total units to evolve that 1 unit. But I mean, it was 1 unit, right? So now, we're basically doing that for every single unit in All-Star Tower Defense X to make them like really, really meta. Obviously, like I said, you don't need to max out the skill tree for a unit to be meta, but it will greatly aid in it, okay? Like, greatly aid in it. Because some of these nodes are very overpowered. But, like I was saying, that's, like, the only thing left. I think it needs to be reconsidered. Something needs to change. I do not like having to have 4 duplicates. It feels like, you know, it's going to be impossible for some of these harder units to get. I mean, I see the mythics. They're fine. You know, being able to grind 4 mythics is not that bad. And considering how OP the nodes are, it makes sense. But for the unbound units and the secret units, it kind of feels like, you know, maybe they're going to make them that good that you don't need to get a skill tree maxed out on them. And if you manage to get more than 1, then you just get that privilege to have a super overpowered unit, which doesn't seem fair anyways. But yeah, that's the last thing I got to say. Again, thank you for fixing the skiller ones, my DAO or whoever did it for ASTDX, and adding the resets were very nice. But I think that the 4 of 1 unit needs to be reconsidered for the skill trees. That's the last thing I have to do. Again, if you have any questions about what skill tree to pick, you can go on my last video, join my Discord server or whatnot, or ask me in the comments right now. But that's all I have for you guys. Like I said, make sure to like and subscribe, join my Discord server for questions, join my Roblox group, all the good stuff. And I'll see you next one, guys. Peace out.